Hey, it is Nicola here from Conscious Crypto Traders, and I am joined with the birthday girl.
Hi, everybody. Teresa here. Nice to see you all.
It's actually not Teresa's birthday today, but it's coming up, and we've got a really special announcement that we want to make after we're looking at the charts here. The last video we did, if you watched that, we warned everybody we might get a final flash crash down to this ascending support line. Touched it exactly. And retail traders are going to be going, oh, we're going down, we're going down, we're going to going down. And we want to look at the fact that we could actually be going up now, and we might have a confirmation that the bottom is in. Teresa, shall I start by just going over what I was going to say, and then I'll pass it over to you?
Yeah, sure. Basically, the headline, guys, is everything we said last recording is playing out. So we're just giving you an update so you know where we are in the cycle we were discussing. So
Yeah. And
stay
oh,
tuned.
Mia, that's Mia, our little doggy. Yeah, so yeah, and we also want to look at a few altcoins Teresa's going to show you, because what's happened is we've created a lower low for Bitcoin. Sorry, excuse me, a higher low for Bitcoin, but we've posted lower lows on some of the altcoins. And that may not be a good thing. So let's have a look at this. This is the daily for Bitcoin, and I want you to have a look at this symmetrical triangle here, where we have a slight ascending line, ever so slightly, compared to this symmetrical triangle, which was a slightly declining line, because this was a lower low in the middle of this. Both of these bear patterns, both times everybody calling for Bitcoin to go lower, screaming about, $10,000 Bitcoin, $15,000 Bitcoin, and this time we shot up, right? And we're in a very similar position, and we've come down. We've touched this as support. If we zoom in on the daily, touched it exactly. Look how huge that retraction is. And then at the end of the day, what we want to watch out for, will this be a hammer, which means it is a bullish pattern, and we could see a test of the 20,397 resistance. If we break out of that, then it's quite possible that we can now call that the bottom. I've already put my mouth on the line and said, I think that is the bottom. And the reason why I said that is because we've had quite a few dumps. Look at that, Teresa. Heavy dumps. Even today on the CPI news that came out for the interest rate being a little bit worse than expected, we didn't go lower, and yet in altcoins we went lower. So why don't you share your chart with us? And
Yeah. And the one thing we know about, especially Bitcoin, we know the miners will stop mining somewhere around 17.5, right?
yeah,
So
yeah, because
we're
it costs that much to mine. Yeah,
cost that much to mine. So if we go below that, we're probably seeing the demise of Bitcoin, which I can't actually imagine any of the whales want to happen. Um,
exactly.
they're not going to let that happen, right?
I think
So
the Wix a testament to the fact that the whales are buying it up. Hey, are you able to make that, like, we can see your whole chart at the bottom and the side? Are you able to just show the chart?
I think so, yeah. Let
Like
me
top
just.
right hand corner under publish, just click that little
Oh,
box
here it
there.
is. There, I'm on the wrong setting. Sorry about that. So that smaller triangle Nicola was just showing you is right here. And I haven't got the other one drawn on, but it's right here, right?
Yeah.
Those exist within a much bigger system of supports that we were talking about on the last call. So we're just reminding you what we were talking about on the last recording, okay? In other words, everything that's been happening recently has lined up with supports in the market that go back 3-4 years. And we also want to be watching this line here, because if you look, this line here has several touch points on the last the last time we hit it. So there's actually 2 touch points up here and about 6 or 7 in through this region. So this is a valid line of resistance we expect to see in the market, right? So what that means is these big patterns we've been seeing actually could be existing in a much bigger pattern at play. Normally you wouldn't trade, when the gap is this big, you wouldn't trade this like it was a pattern, but that still means this is an important line to watch. Like, so if whatever we do around this line, we need to pay attention to. So we had talked about this, that in a deregulated environment, we're seeing way more, whether you call them a fake out, a failed move, or a busted pattern. Bulkowski in his Bible of chart patterns calls them busted patterns. So if you want to read up on them, you're Googling busted pattern, or you're going on the patternwebsite.com. In this environment, preceding an upward breakout, we almost always see a downward bust and then come back down. I exaggerated that, but a downward bust and then come back down into the pattern, right? So if this were traditional trading and how we would expect this to play out, in other words, in a regulated environment, the breakdown below this line is significant, and we would all be very worried right now. In fact, if it comes up to this line and reconfirms this line as resistance and then heads down again, then we may be seeing some downward movement. But if it comes back up, heads back into the pattern, then I think we're going to see a major, especially if it breaks out here, reconfirms this line as support, then I think we're really back on. We're in play for the next bull run, right? So a lot of what we talked about last call is playing out exactly as we predicted, in terms of saying this is the most likely scenario that we think we're going to be seeing here. However, I'm not holding my trades open until I see these come back into the pattern and reconfirm this major line as support. In fact, the first line we want to see confirmed as support is this, because this is actually a legitimate triangle here, whereas this bigger pattern I've drawn, these are major support lines to pay attention to, but you wouldn't trade them like they were a pattern. This is actually a pattern, right? So we want to see it come back into this lower pattern, reconfirm that as support, and then also reconfirm this line as support. At that
bottom
point,
of the bottom of the daily candle sitting right on it at the moment, isn't it? Can you can you go?
Yeah, it's
it's sitting right on it. It's sitting above it, actually.
You know, we're actually back up into the pattern, right? Like we've bounced back up in, right? So I think that really bodes well for a lot of the coins. We're seeing the same pattern across the board, by the way. So we're seeing it like now the altcoins, a lot of them are looking a little different, but like if you look at ADA, for example,
lower low, guys, look at that.
So we do have a lower low in ADA. So this is kind of interesting. We're going to be watching to see what happens here. But again, if we were going to do a fake out or a busted pattern, whatever you want to call it, that's the kind of thing you'd want to do as a market manipulator to make the market nervous. We're already on our way back up. If we come back up here and again reconfirm, because remember these lower triangles are well confirmed patterns. These bigger lines just represent, you could call them a pattern, but when they're that big and the gaps are this far, sorry, on the major chart for ADA, there are actually points out here. Just on Bybit. Bybit doesn't have a long enough trading history. I think I should have pulled up a different ADA chart for you to see that. But basically what we're looking for is it to come back into the pattern, reconfirm these support lines. If we break out upward, then we know anytime you've got a busted pattern and then an upward breakout, the probability of it actually meeting its target. So at the very least, this point, if not all the way back up to the last all-time high, is looking really, really good. So a lot of what we talked about is basically playing out as we were suspecting it would.
And there's at least 3 to 4 touch points on all of the coins that have got this big triangle that we've been in since May, started forming in May when we got the big drop. And which means the next time we touch it is going to be critical. Next time we touch it, if it's weaker and we break to the upside, to me, that's pretty much saying that we're going into the end of the bear market, into the bull market. How long will it take? Well, who knows? We also said that part of the reason why we were going to start dumping before the CPI news was it was full moon, and we usually dump into a full moon. We kept dumping. Full moon was on Sunday, and we've been dumping since, right? And then we pump out of it. And this pump is going to come right into Saturn becoming direct. It's been retrograde. Saturn rules finance, rules business. And every time we've had a Saturn go direct, it's already confirmed in the market that the bottom is in. However, we've got the talk of nuclear war, which is just crazy. We've got the economy faltering, everybody's nervous in the stock market. The dollar is strong. So we don't know what impact that is going to have, because we're kind of in unprecedented territory. Yeah.
Yeah. So the time is not now to open those really big trades. Okay. So we want to be really clear on that, but we want to get you ready for them. So I'm still spot trading. I'm doing low leverage trading on these smaller movements that we're seeing around the daily. Okay. But once we know which direction the market confirms in, so if we go back up into the pattern and reconfirm that line as support, those are the moments where the legendary trades start getting opened, right?
Yeah. Not financial advice, of course.
Yes. Yes.
Do your own research, but I'm waiting, like I'm already in a long on the bounce, but I am waiting to whether or not I'm going to put more in on the candle close. How does that candle close today? Does it close as a hammer, which is bullish? Is it right up against resistance? If it is, I'm going to wait again until we get over that resistance, and then we're in. So big announcement. Teresa is having a birthday, and we have a very special project that we're doing here at Vista Mundo, the retreat center that we're building in Costa Rica that many of you know about. There's a fascia on the side of the building that we want to put a really beautiful mural on it as a gift to Teresa. And if you want to help out with that and contribute to that, we're going to drop a link below for you to do that. But Teresa's going to show you a picture of, it's a local Indigenous artist. So we're going to be giving the money to a local Indigenous artist, which is really important to us. And they're so lifelike. They're really amazing. Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, we ran into this artist, Reina Rodriguez, who's just an incredible, incredible artist. And I just fell in love with his work. So my daughter started this little project to raise the money. We need about $2,000 all total, so not a whole lot of money. But just different friends and family have all been contributing a few dollars each. So we can get a big sloth mural like this. Well, it won't be identical to this, but this is on a friend's building. And I'm just in love with this man's art. So Nicola had the idea, well, why don't we put it out on the channel in case anybody wants to buy us a coffee, So if you want to kick in a couple dollars and help us get our sloth, we have enough to do a small mural now, and just any additional contributions will help us, cover more of the wall with a beautiful big mural. So
do we have a picture of the wall that you're going to put it on?
Oh, I think I do. Yeah. Hang on, let me find it here.
While she's doing that, just a reminder, if you look down below, you're going to find some links to Crypto Ninjas. If you're wanting to join our private mastermind group, you can learn all about that. And otherwise, we are going to be starting to post a little bit more frequently. We've also got a couple of guests coming on. We've got Kelly, who's going to be talking about crypto tax regulation, and Stefan, who's also going to be talking about projects and opportunities that are out there for you to research. But if you haven't got it, Teresa, we can just let them go and show them next one.
Hey? On WhatsApp, so I can show it on WhatsApp. I can't find it in my download.
There it is there.
So
this is Teresa's birthday present from us. Well, her daughters, it was my idea, but her daughters really said, hey, let's open it up and see who else wants to join. So and until we meet again, my friends, what are we doing? We are trading consciously.
Great.
See you later.